the veteran, the guy that has been around the league a number of years, from Houston Dynamo, AJ DeLaGarza. AJ, welcome.
Hey guys, how are you?
Very good. Thanks so much, AJ, for making time. Let's talk about it, AJ. The stretch is upon your club, and these games are crucial. Big points await on the next game that you guys need to keep in that playoff hunt. Tough loss against San Jose. What needs to change mentally for you guys to really bear down and focus in on the job at hand?
I think we got to play now like the playoffs on the line, and they are. We know in the playoffs you got to turn it up an extra notch than you did all season. So we need to turn that notch now and not forget about what we've done, but learn from it. And we have 6 games to make a playoff push. And while we're 6 points from being at the top, we can very well, as we are now, be out of the playoffs. So there's just no room for error anymore.
AJ, you're one of the leaders on the team, along with Boniek Garcia, I believe, and Eric Torres. There's really not much to say to a veteran-laden squad like yours in training or even before a big game. So how do you make sure that the youngsters are fully focused and aware of the situation? Because you've been through this. Other guys have been through it that are veterans, but some of the young guys haven't been.
Yeah, I think almost everyone on our team has been in the playoffs, whether that be MLS or in their other countries that they've played in. So they all know what it takes to, for one, get to that point, and two, how to perform in the playoffs, and just how scrappy and not pretty soccer can be in the playoffs. So whatever we need to do, we got to get it done and grab points in these next 6 games.
AJ, let's talk about the transition. You spent a lot of time in LA with the LA Galaxy. You're in Houston, 2 big cities, 2 cities that really embrace their squads. How have you enjoyed your first season with the Houston Dynamo, and compare it with the LA Galaxy? I look at Houston, and I've covered MLS since day one. Houston, to me, is a really close-knit fan-supporter club. LA is a little bit less, in my opinion. Give us your thoughts on that.
Man, when I was first traded, it was a bittersweet moment, I guess, if you could say that. But I came somewhere where I was wanted and needed to play a big role. So I was happy about the move. And obviously LA and Houston are 2 totally different cities, and I've adapted well and really enjoy the city and having space, first of all, so my daughter can play. But and the fans, close knit. You see how just close knit Houston and really the league is in general. You can, from the Hurricane to even my son's death a couple of years ago. Houston fans reached out. So I came somewhere where I was pretty comfortable. Obviously, knowing someone like Leo as well made it the transition a little bit easier. So. Yeah.
AJ, my heart breaks watching what took place in Houston not too long ago. My wife and I, my 2 sons, every day we're grateful for what we have up here in Toronto, and we see what the people have gone through there, and the struggles and the anguish and the prayers and thoughts are with those people. Can you give us a little bit of an update? Obviously, it's going to take a lot longer before things get back to normal. But, we see your club and we see the other Houston organizations and other sports. They're really doing their part. And how great is that to see?
Yeah, it's great. Us athletes have a platform we can use. You see, how much J.J. Watt was able to get in donations for families. And so it's a platform we have to use, and the ability to use it and reach out to millions of people, for one. But I was just driving around today. We had a little team event, and there's people who still have their entire houses on the side of the street, waiting to be picked up from the dump. So it's definitely still crazy out here, and it's going to be a long journey for a lot of people. So we're all going to help out, whether it be money-wise or just manpower. That's our role.
Well, God bless you for doing that. Just listening to you, puts a a lump in my throat, and it's hard to hear it because, again, as I said, we have so much to be thankful and grateful for, and a lot of times we take it for granted. But hearing what you said there, it really rips my heart. AJ, let's talk about the league. MLS has grown in leaps and bounds. Here tonight in Toronto, the Canadian Derby, the 4-1 Derby, Toronto, Montreal getting it on. You know, we see out in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver, LA and San Jose, you guys getting it on, Houston and Dallas. The league has grown in leaps and bounds. And what I'm watching with my eyes the last couple of years with Orlando and Atlanta, it's been unreal. You as a player, have you ever thought that it would come the day you'd see 70,000 in Atlanta and Orlando in their first year pack them in the way they did?
Man, I can't say I didn't expect the league to jump off like that, but you just never know where it's going to be. But it's definitely, the amount of support that Atlanta has gotten this year has just been pretty crazy. And I think tonight they have their 13 or 14 straight sellout. So every game they're getting those fans, and 70,000 last week, and whether it's a Wednesday or a Saturday, they come out and support the team. And I think that's one thing that helped that team this season, just getting that fan support and really that home field advantage.
AJ, talk about the players that have come to MLS in the recent years that have really started to open up the eyes worldwide. Jovinko here, Kaká in Orlando, other players that have come in years past. We see Pirlo in New York City FC. So many players, World Cup winners, Simon with the Montreal Impact, Drogba last year. This has got to be great, where now it's not considered, as it was years ago, the retirement league. It's a league that is starting to take on a lot of serious, people from all over the world saying this is a serious league. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting better, and we'll continue to grow and continue to find that good young talent, in America and South America or in Europe. Years ago, I know of European players who were on our team back then who said everyone would come here if the money was right. So we're still, trying to get it there, and but I mean the product now has been leaps and bounds over when I first got in the league in 2009. So when David Beckham was kind of the first VP, and now there's almost 3 on the team, and so it's incredible to see. And I think in 10 years or whatever amount of years, this definitely could be the top league in the world.
AJ, just before we let you go, I really appreciate your time. The last part I wanted to cover is a little bit of grassroots and talking to the youngsters out there. You played NCAA. I believe it's fantastic, a quality competition, and it has sent so many players to MLS and to play on national teams, whether in Canada or in the US of A. Talk to the young boys out there. We talk about, their confidence a lot of times shaken up, and a lot of times some of these youth coaches believe that they need to win every game, and it's like a World Cup. And some of these young boys that are 8, 9, 10, 11, it really affects them if they don't get to play in certain games or play very little. What do you want to say to them? Because you're living the dream that many young boys would love to live.
Yeah. I mean, it's never easy. There was, times where I was doubted when I was younger or got cut from the state soccer team, Maryland State Club, or whatever it may be, a DC United team I was cut from when I was younger. In college, my freshman year, my coach wanted me to redshirt, and I kind of said, no, thank you, and went on to become a starter that year. And then coming to MLS, where I wasn't seen as a center back, and having won a couple of MLS Cups now after playing center back, and now being a right back mainly, you just gotta prove people wrong and keep pushing and keep following your dreams. So I had that dream when I was 10, 11 years old. And even after all the negatives that happened, I stayed positive and eventually made it by working hard and staying focused on soccer and on school.
AJ, you're a class act, a wonderful player, but a better human being. God bless you. Thanks so much for taking time. Good luck in the stretch run there to get to the playoffs. And again, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you, guys.